Hello and welcome. We're back again on this fine Monday. I hope everything is going well in your area. Tasha, how's Boise?
It's good. It's rainy. Very cold all of a sudden today. How's you,
Cool.
Logan?
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of that over here in Logan, north of Salt Lake. So,
Yep.
all right, let's go ahead and get started. Today we're gonna do one question. Please bear with us as we kind of adjust our format and our time of trying to find our voice in this live broadcasting space. So we give it some feels and try some different things and find out what works for us. So we appreciate anyone who's attended and watching the videos. And if you have any questions, as always, you can DM me, Bill Moore, at Mountain Programmer on LinkedIn. And Tasha is also on LinkedIn, as well as has a bunch of other online social handles. Do you want to share any of those if anybody has any
Yeah.
questions?
I'm on. I'm on
Sorry, that was random.
Instagram. Yeah, you're okay. I'm on Instagram at FernVayVaughn. That's like my screen name for all my online stuff that I do. I share like designer tips and tricks that I do throughout my week as a UX UI designer. And then you can also follow Atmosoft at Atmosoft on TikTok, or our YouTube channel is at Atmosoft Tech, and then also our Instagram is this is Atmosoft as well. So I
All
would say
right.
follow all of those.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Let's go and get started with the question.
Okay, so the question that we're doing today is, can you discuss the ongoing support that Atmosoft provides after a software solution has been implemented? What kind of support can a client like an automotive dealer groups expect?
Okay, so that's an interesting question, and when we talk about support, there's kind of multiple levels there. The first level of support is we have support with the initial engagement. That is engaging with the customer and actually figuring out or helping the customer to figure out exactly what their goals are and what they're trying to do. So that engagement would be requirements gathering, and then coming up with some possible solution ideas, and then pricing those solutions and working on that. Then as we move into the project phase portion of the projects, we actively engage with the customer. Now, it's dependent on the customer and their level of engagement that they want to tolerate, that they want to be involved in. So in our aspect, I want the customer to be absolutely involved, understand what we're doing every step of the way, and know when we're running into roadblocks, why we might have some cost overruns, and to be just day to day up to date on the status of the project. I know that's not always a viable solution, and so customers can engage with us during the building phase as little or as much as they want. My recommendation is always more is better in this particular instance, so they understand kind of what's going on. And then the last part of that is we've developed a solution. We've done the coding, we've done the testing, and we're ready to release to production. So during that phase, when we're getting ready to launch a new feature or a new app or a new website or new APIs or whatever work we're doing, when we're getting ready to launch those pieces, during the launch phase is when we begin basically the debrief with the customer, which includes a stack of documentation related to what we did, what does your architecture look like, what changes did we expect, or sorry, what changes happened during the development process. So we're updating documentation, we're telling them, okay, we use the cloud, we have these type of serverless functions running in the cloud, we're reusing this database, here's what the data looks like, here's what our interface to the API looks like, and we're reviewing all of that with their team or with the customer, with the product owner, basically the person who's signing the checks and is interested. So they're 100% aware of the solution we provided, how it works, how it gets deployed, and then how to do general maintenance on that. If the client has a development team, we'll meet with a representative or two from the development team, and we'll brief them entirely, including a walkthrough on the code base on what we did, so that at least someone in the organization is aware from the development perspective of what's going on in the code. And then we also offer support and maintenance contracts, which companies are available to sign up for, and they can use those. It's kind of an on-demand thing. If you have a problem or you have an update that you want to do or a small change you want to make, we offer help that way. And then kind of after the sale, it waters from a contracting perspective can get a little muddy here. However, at Atlasoft, we believe in supporting 100% all the products that we create. If you come back and you say, hey, this was supposed to do X, we outlined it in the proposal, and that particular feature is not working as expected, we'll evaluate that. And if it's a problem with the code or a problem on our end, we'll offer continuing support to address that issue. Keep in mind, though, the reason why I say it gets murky is because if you change your requirements and then you come back and you say, well, it's not doing X or Y or Z, and you had a change that from the original design or the original solution we proposed, that's basically going to be new work. And so we treat that like new work. Otherwise, you can get in this loop where you're actually doing updates and then, everybody's around to make revenue, and you don't want to approach the situation and get in a situation where, you're providing continuous support on a product and that leads you in a space of a kind of a negative revenue if you're having to eat a lot of hours. So,
Mhm.
so in summary, what we basically do is we support the customer in the beginning by telling them what we're going to do and giving them alternatives, because there's always a lot of different ways to solve a particular problem.
Yeah.
In the middle, we try to engage with the customer as much as possible, whether that's going to be with demos, daily meetings, bi-weekly meetings, weekly meetings, monthly meetings, which I probably wouldn't recommend monthly meetings. If you're paying for a significant investment for a technical solution, I think paying attention to it is a good idea. And then before we deploy into production, we provide the customer with documentation, and we provide them with an explanation of exactly how everything works, all the way down to code reviews with their internal teams to explain how the components work together and how everything fits together. So that's the kind of support that we offer throughout the life cycle of the project. And I think it's important to carry into kind of like the full life cycle, so you could see the whole scope of where we provide that kind of support.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's also important that we are willing, that's part of the reason that we're so transparent, and that's one of our values, is that we're wanting to make it so that not only can we come in and help you, but we want it so that you're able to maintain it after,
And
and
help
that you don't.
yourself too.
Yeah.
Like we have no issues if, say for example, you own a company that sells. I like the widget example. I always go back
Yeah.
to it because it's kind of generic, right? So you own a company that sells widgets, and you come to us, and we provide a technical solution. We will also train your team on the technologies that we're using to apply that solution. We never want to walk away from you and you think like, oh, these tech wizards just cast a spell and everything's good, and you don't really have a solid understanding of what we did. And so if your team's not up on serverless functions, Lambda or Azure functions, then we'll sit down and explain to your team, explain how they work, show you the Azure dashboard, and walk you through how we create the functions, and then how those functions get deployed on either AWS or Lambda, or AWS or Azure. It doesn't really matter. They're essentially the same thing. And then we'll go down that path. And but when we leave, we want your team to be in a better position than they were when we started. And even if that means no future work for us, that's fine. That's great. In fact, we love that. We love that scenario where we're able to help a company grow and achieve their objectives, and then later on they come in and maybe they don't need us anymore. That's a good place to be, because we solved a problem and we helped the company grow, and we're all about helping companies grow and embrace new technologies.
Yep. And giving
So,
you any support that you need along that journey.
yeah, 100%. And then if you have just general questions, you can always ask me, email me, DM me. I'm happy to talk technology with you. In fact, to let people know where we're kind of looking at going in the future, I'd like to get with anybody who's interested in having a conversation about how technology is applied in their particular market segment. To be clear, what I mean on that is I'd like to talk to people who do day-to-day work in manufacturing. I'd like to talk to people who do day-to-day work in utilities, and just get an idea. Because one of the things I realized today, I was thinking about it, I was trying to come up with some ideas for posting, and one of the things I thought about today is there's a lot of industries where I have a deep understanding of technology, but I have no idea how, say, a utility company is utilizing technology. What
Yeah.
technologies are they utilizing? How does it work? How does it work when you have to integrate with a third party that wants to bundle something?
Yeah.
Particularly in utilities, I'm thinking along the lines of like a third party, like billing agent or someone who is managing your utilities, or something like that. Like, how does all that work? I know personally from my experience working with utility companies as an end user, their websites are, let's be diplomatic, not nice to use.
Yeah.
And everything seems way overly complicated. Like, I go to Amazon, I put some stuff in a cart, and I check out.
Yep.
Like, that works. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have to put in my credit card anymore. I just say use that one card, and
Yeah.
Amazon's like, sure, and then I get stuff. Like, that's an amazing user experience.
Yeah.
And then I go to something like in Idaho, it's Idaho Power, right? Idaho Power,
Mhm.
is that the company?
Yeah.
Or I go to Rocky Mountain Power, which is where I am, and I go to their website, and I have to have my account number memorized, and I have to know 16 digits of my social security number, which, I mean, everyone knows my social security
Yeah.
number. You get the point, right?
Yeah.
And then I log in, and then the bill doesn't make any sense. And then when I go to make a payment, I got to pay a fee.
Yeah.
Like I got to pay a fee because they're going to use this third party. I mean, I believe this problem has been solved.
Yeah.
Amazon did not charge me a fee to pay them money.
Yeah.
Like, why are these companies charging me like sometimes upwards of $4 to pay a service fee? And I want to dive into these industries and see if I can solve some of these technical mysteries. Maybe not with an implementation, but I want to understand them. And I realize there's a lot of market segments that I don't have an idea of how they're utilizing or applying technology. And so
Yeah.
I'd like to explore that a little bit. So I think in the future we're gonna kind of shift things in that direction. If anyone from any market segment is interested in coming on and having a conversation and wants to talk tech related to their market segment, I would love to have those conversations and see where they go, and kind of get an understanding. Like, maybe I'm interested in doing some work in utility, and
Yeah.
and maybe I'm interested in approaching Idaho Power and saying, hey man, let me help you fix your website and make it more user friendly. And maybe there's some things I don't understand on why Idaho Power makes the choices that they do. Maybe they have to. Maybe there's regulation in the way. Maybe there's a different you know there's things there that I don't understand. Again, we go back to the automotive industry, which we've been talking about a lot. If we could talk about the middleman on extended warranties. I
Yeah.
don't understand why they're there, or what exactly is going on there, and I would like to. I think all these technology stacks are interesting, and they all have things to offer. So I think moving forward, we'll kind of go in that direction.
Yeah, it's kind of trying to build a bridge between our knowledge of technology and their knowledge of the industry. Like,
Yeah,
we can tell you a bunch of solutions, but we only can see so much of what goes on in that industry. What's the rules? Like, are there like legality reasons why you have to do
yeah,
it
yeah,
that way?
yeah.
Like, there's so many things that we see we could fix, but like we don't completely understand it too. So maybe we can't once we understood the full story.
Yeah, and something along that line that I found out recently. We were meeting with John Pop, or what's his we're meeting with one of the leads of the local developer group here. His name is John, and his company does website scanning for ADA compliance. Okay. Did you know there are things that if your website doesn't support it, it's actually illegal? Like, you're breaking a federal law, and you can be sued. I was
Like
unaware of
with
that.
accessibility.
Yeah, all the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
accessibility stuff is required. Like, if you have a business and you're required to have a ramp, you are breaking federal law if your business does not have that ramp. And the same thing applies to your website. I have to be honest with you, I was unaware of that. And I've since been working on taking actions to correct that and make sure all of my stuff is accessible. The problem with accessibility is the expense. I mean, it can get
Mm.
expensive, right? I mean, but to be fair, we should be available to everybody.
Yeah.
And I mean, and so, but there's a problem solution space, right? Where here's the problem, like how could, like, maybe you're some super Python script reader guy, and you can inject ADA compliant options into HTML with some server component, and you could make a lot of money doing that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's not one of the easy problems to solve, like, right? It's not the low hanging fruit. Like
Yeah.
this would be a big challenge, but I mean, it's something to think about. But and I didn't know that, and I'd like to explore different spaces to find out things like that. I just wanted to give a personal example of kind of something I was thinking about in related to that. And for those of you who didn't know, there are ADA requirements for your website. You should probably check them out and make sure that you're compliant so that you don't get sued.
Yep.
So
And
that
if
that
you
being
have any questions on how to do that, I do know how to do it for websites and stuff. I am someone who studies accessibility design. That's
yeah,
one of the things I've, like, been trying to specialize in. So if you have, like, questions on how to do certain things, I would be glad to answer. I, like, can point you in directions of, like, screen readers so that you can see how your, um, application does on screen reading stuff and stuff like that. You can just
yeah.
message me on
Well,
LinkedIn or
test bed
something.
is another thing. I don't even know of any testing. So I know John's software, and I'll post it up on my LinkedIn channel. I apologize. I was thinking of a different John, and the name is not coming to me at the moment. So
You're right.
I'll post up his information and information on his website offering, because his tool basically scans your entire site and lets you know where you're in non-compliance based on ADA regulations. So, and I think it's a useful software package that everyone
Yeah.
should at least be aware of. So I'll post that up on my LinkedIn. But yeah, I agree with you. And there's a lot of stuff about accessibility that I don't know. And maybe that's something we should, oh, we should get John on and have him
That
talk
would
about.
be a good
That would
yeah,
be
that
good.
would be good.
Because that one's across industries, right? We all
Yeah,
need to be fair and make sure that our software is compliant and usable by as many people as possible. I mean,
yep.
that seems to make sense. I know
Yep.
some of it can get a little bit difficult, but I mean, that I think it's a good idea. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult living with a disability too, though, so it's like
yeah, yeah. I could say that as my hearing heads south and my vision seems to be wanting to do the same thing.
Yeah,
The accessibility and the zoom ins and the screen readers are becoming more and more useful and less of a thing where I'm like, oh no, man, that screen narrator
oh,
popped up
yeah.
again, and I have no idea how to shut it off.
Yeah, I know, like, if I have to do anything without subtitles, it's, like, so difficult for me to just process, like, what
Yeah,
I'm listening
yeah.
to if I'm
I usually
watching a
read
video.
movies too.
Yeah,
I've gotten pretty good at it too. So.
yeah.
But I
Oh,
think we hit like 20 minutes. We are trying to tone down the duration. Again, we're still trying to find our footing here. So we appreciate everyone who attended, and I hope everyone has a great day. And we will be back tomorrow. Any closing remarks, Natasha?
no, other than if you want more of this, make sure to follow Bill so you can get notifications when we go live to talk about
Yeah,
stuff. And if you
absolutely.
wanna be on here to help us talk about any topic really that has to do with technology, we would love to have you, and we would love to talk to you, so please
Yeah,
reach out.
yeah, I agree, and we will work on getting some more people on board so we can explore technology spaces in other industries that I am not that I have not had the pleasure of working in yet.
Yeah.
So, all right, Tasha, you have a good day, and we'll see you all tomorrow. So,
Yeah.
bye, guys.
Bye.